In this video, we're going to talk about the formal Solidworks layout feature. In the past, we've talked about just creating a sketch either in the assembly or in a top-level part and matching up individual components to that sketch. Solidworks has had, from the very early days, a technique called layout, which I spell with a small case L. It's just a technique using a regular assembly sketch to help you build other parts. But at some point, Solidworks decided they were going to create a formal feature called layout with a capital L, which I thought kind of confused things because it introduces a different technique with mostly the same name. So I'm going to show you how to use that technique. Since we've already seen the layout with a small l, let's now look at the layout with a capital L. This is an assembly that was created using the layout with a capital L. You can notice first the symbol in front of the assembly name. It has a standard 4-bar link. This is essentially the layout. The sketch that you see here in the assembly is a layout sketch. It contains 4 sketch blocks. And that's pretty much the secret of the layout feature, is that it uses sketch blocks. To create a layout, go to the Insert menu and select Layout. This kicks you into a 3D sketch, but you're on a 2D plane. So it's actually more than a little bit confusing to most people. You have this symbol up here, which is again the layout symbol. And within this sketch, you can start to create a layout for each of the components. For example, one of the components that I created had a couple of lines like this and then a couple of pivots. And you can dimension these if you want to. You probably should, just to be able to control the positions of various elements within this part and within the layout. And then what you do is you take all of it and you select it and make a block out of that. Once this is a block, you can move it around as a single entity. Once you've made a couple of these blocks, you can assemble them and then within the layout make the mechanism work only using blocks instead of parts. And then you can create individual parts from the blocks. So I'll get rid of this block that I've just added, go up and edit, and here we have an assembly of blocks that works in function just like the assembly of parts will work. And then you can use each one of these blocks to make a part by inserting the block into a blank part and then building your 3D geometry around that block. This is a great way to get a mechanism started without actually building any parts. It helps you get a good concept of what you're doing, and then you can build the individual parts for the assembly from those blocks. Thanks for watching.